Mr. Smith, this is yours on Tyron Henderson. I'm good. Good morning. All right, sir, you are Tyron Henderson. And Mr. Henderson was previously in court. We've got 3 MTRPs and a new case, and he entered pleas of guilty, or a plea of guilty in that new case, and pleas of true to counts 1 through 6 in each of those motion to revoke probation cases. I've received a pre-sentence report, updated. Wait, is there a 5th one? Or just 4?
There's 4 cases. 3 MTLPs.
That's right, something was just printed twice. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Not from the defense.
So, I'm a little, well, probably a little more than a little concerned about your ability to be successful if I put you on another probation. Because you were on probation for 2 cases, an evading and an unauthorized use of a vehicle from 2021. Then you pick up a felony theft in 2023, keep you on probation, add a probation on that case. So now you've got another felony while you're on all of these probations. And you've already been to ISF. I just need some help here. And Ms. Joseph is here. Ms. Joseph, what's your thoughts?
I believe that Mr. Henderson can satisfactorily complete his probation terms, even with the addition of another term. Mr. Henderson, from the start, and I had frank conversation with him about his current situation as well as the subsequent offense. He understands the seriousness of it, the unnecessariness of this event, and he offered no excuses, which is refreshing. When I notified him of the warrant, he did not hesitate, and he turned himself in. When I spoke with him at the correctional facility, he stated that he would accept whatever the consequences were or would be.
Well, and another thing, Mr. Henderson, which is a bit of a breath of fresh air around here, is you have absolutely no jail reports. And with the group of young people your age out there, that is pretty amazing because they're acting like fools, aren't they?
He's been in actually for 120 days too, Judge, so it's not just a short stint in jail.
So the recommendation is ISF again, which I'm not opposed to. I'm sorry?
A state jail sanction for 180.
Okay, that's not what it says on here.
Well, that was my recommendation.
Is there an issue with misuse of drugs?
No, it's cognitive.
Safety's
I didn't recommend ISF. I recommended 180-day state jail.
just 180 days
Yes,
upfront
that's-
time.
He's already been to ISF.
I
So
know.
I don't know why we would repeat that, but that's why I recommend
Same. Okay,
state jail.
go get a feel for what it's like somewhere other than our
Yes,
jail.
yes. And we discussed that. I told him that's my recommendation, and he was willing to accept it.
All right. What do you think, Mr. Henderson? Do you have anything to say?
Judge, can I just say one thing briefly?
Mm-hmm.
He has been in for 120 days. He's had no write-ups. To his credit, every time I've met with him, he's accepted responsibility. He knows this is not a second chance, but a third and fourth chance that the court's giving him.
It's
He's
the
not
last
sentenced-
chance.
Yeah.
That's what it
He's
is.
not a sinister young man. He knows that he's made some really foolish mistakes, and this last thing was him doing wheelies on a dirt bike. But I do think that he is someone that can be successful in probation. I think that he realizes too that this is not the path he wants to go down. And with every report and everything he said, he's accepting responsibility.
Yeah.
He knows he's messed up. And I do think he's somebody that Judge, I really do think I'm not gonna see him again.
So, Mr. Henderson, I want you to understand, if I go along with this today and you're back in here, I'm going to see all of this and I'm gonna wonder what I was thinking today. And that's not gonna be good, because you will be agreeing today to a certain amount of time in prison. And so we're not gonna come in here and negotiate. You mess up again, you're gonna be in here getting all the sentences that you're getting. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is the agreement is just to continue those probations?
Well, actually, the agreement was for ISF cognitive training.
Okay,
I realized he'd already been.
yeah. So we've got 2 deferreds on those 21 cases. 5 years. Okay, in cause number 25 DCCR 0520, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. I'm going to sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 10 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections, but probate that, place you on probation for 10 years. That's what your agreement is. I am going to order a $250 fine in that case. And I am going to order that you serve 180 days upfront time. And there's not going to be credit for the time you've sat, because I want you to see what it feels like to sit somewhere other than Jefferson County Jail. All right? And cause number 21-38934. Find that you entered your pleas of true, freely, and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, but I'm not going to do so. I'm going to continue you on probation in that case. In cause number 22-39131, also find that you entered your pleas of true, freely, and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, but I'm not going to do so. I'm going to continue you on probation in that case as well. And then finally, in cause number 23 DCCR 0899, find that you entered those pleas of true, freely, and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, but I'm not going to do so in that case either. I am going to continue that probation. Cause number 21-38934, that's the evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. So that's that first evading. I am going to, I'm continuing your probation, but I am going to extend it by 2 years. All right, so that's now a 7-year probation instead of a 5. Make sure to make that note. And then the other ones, I'm going to leave that other one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hand you the trial court certifications in each of these cases, Mr. Smith, if you don't mind. This shows these were agreements that I followed, and so you waived your right to appeal. This new case, I want to make sure, again, that we're very clear that if you violate any condition of probation from this point forward, you are looking at a 10-year sentence in the first evading, 2 years state jail in the first unauthorized use, 2 years state jail in the theft, and 10 years that you disagree to in this case. Do you understand? So it's very important that you do everything. It sounds like Ms. Joseph believes in you and that you can do what you've showed that you can follow the rules in jail and for some time out of jail, but you got to follow the rules all the time or you're going to end up in prison, and nobody wants that. All right. So take advantage of this situation. When you get out of doing your upfront time, go straight to probation, follow all of those rules, and hopefully we won't see each other here again. All right. Good luck to you, and go back with the bailiff.
Judge, are we not doing state jail? Upfront time, just the
State jail upfront time. Yes, ma'am, sorry.
That last guy I thought they're running CC while Casey's in jail, in probation. He didn't take probation
Because what?
because he thought that his time that he's serving in jail right now would run CC, that it would eat up his case. He only has 2 months in this case. I mean, I explained to him for 45 minutes. No.
Judge, on this, we have a plea in the new case and an offer on the probation of the court would accept it based on the reasoning that he has no current felony history.
Okay. I'll probably do an, I might do updates.
The motion is on the state jail.
Oh,
The
I
new
see.
cases and
Okay, and it's not to
It's for
continue.
continued.
Okay. All right, are you, Kashawn Pugh? And Mr. Parker, will your client waive the formal reading of the motion and the indictment?
You will, Judge.
You in cause number 23, DCCR 1531, you're charged with the third-degree felony offense of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle, and that's from June 18th of 2023. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you actually did what they charged you with? In that case, I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Parker? And do you fully understand them? Answer out loud, please. Thank you. The court reporter has to take everything down. And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? State tenders number 1.
No objection?
It's admitted. And Mr. Pugh, you are a U.S. citizen, correct? Is there any evidence that Mr. Pugh's not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. Sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 3 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. Let's see. And then, in cause number 19, 33356, give me just a second. Yeah.
Kim just realized we have Adams. I don't know if you need it or not since they came up with something.
No, not since they came up with
Okay, I
something.
thought-
Thank you, though.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, let me see that again. No. What I'm looking at right now is your jail incident reports. You don't like being told what to do out there, do you?
That's not the issue. People come to work with problems of their own.
Okay, so it's the correctional officer's faults that you don't follow the
Not all
rules?
time. When I walked across the dorm to give a guy his bowl, I did that. I was working out in the bathroom, I did that.
Okay,
Miss Painter, she called me on my name multiple times and I asked her to identify herself. The other things that she wrote in there about me were not true. I had another officer read it to me, so I know what it says.
okay. There's only one.
Mr. Washington wrote me up, and that was a lie. That's why I got moved to orange, because I actually was in blue at first. And the lieutenants don't even know why I was in there. I was actually in dorm, placed in dorm under, so to say, Stroder's advisor, but Stroder never wrote me up, so I don't even have a write-up for that. They
Okay.
don't have that in there either.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like you're saying you did most of what they're saying you did
No, I
wrong
didn't do
anyway.
most of what they're saying at all. Most of those write-ups, Washington and Painter,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, another lady, I didn't do the other things that she wrote up. Butte wrote me up for some other things, and I told her that I can't do her job for her. She wanted me to point somebody out, and that was it. She just wrote me up on it, so.
Okay. So Washington didn't tell you to stop talking,
No, ma'am,
and
he
you
didn't.
responded by saying, quote, "Officer, you telling me we can't talk in the bunk area? You tripping." You didn't say that?
I did not, that man did not tell me nothing that whole day. He didn't. And when I asked him if I had a write-up, he told me no. And they actually wrote me up 2 days after they moved me from blue to orange. That wasn't even the same day.
And you didn't go to the restroom and wash your clothes in the sink, and he
No,
told
ma'am,
you
I
not
did
to do that?
I did not do none of that.
You
And
just
I
made
asked
all
him-
that up?
Man, I swear, I asked the lieutenant to check the cameras and see if that's what I did, and she didn't want to do it. So that write-up was just for nothing. When I asked him if he wrote me up because they told me that I had a move card, I said, "Why am I moving from blue to orange?" He said, "I don't know." And I was like, "Well, did you write me up for something?" He said, "No, I didn't write you up. The lieutenant called and said that you had a move card, that they was placing me in my right because I have a felony case that I'm supposed to be in orange." And when I came in at first, I told them that I was supposed to be in orange, but they put me in blue and told me that they would.
Sounds like you know their job better than them, huh? You're just out there telling them what to do and where you're supposed to be and all that kind of stuff. See, here's the thing. I don't have to accept any agreements in here. And I know word out there, it's got to be getting around that I'm not accepting agreements. I'm putting people back in jail because of these incident reports. Because these people are just trying to go to work and do their job, and they don't need you or anybody else telling them how to do their job, where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be where they tell you to be. You're supposed to wear what they tell you to wear. That's part of being in jail. You don't get to make your own rules. Stop breaking the law, and you can do what you want and wear what you want when you're out. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
All right, so in cause number 19-33356, I have a motion to revoke your unadjudicated probation. This one shows that you were placed on probation December 7th of 2020 for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. That was a 2-year probation. Looks like it was extended at least once. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It looks like this motion, Judge, was filed in 23, so that needs to be worked on. He's just been at large on it since.
Okay. It alleges that you violated your probation. Count 1 alleges that you committed the new offense of evading arrest, June 18th of 2023. And is that true or not true? True or not true? True. Count 2 alleges that you failed to report as directed to the probation department April 10th, May 22nd, and June 12th of 2023. And is that true or not true?
True.
Count 3 alleges that you didn't work faithfully at suitable employment and provide verification of that. And is that true or not true?
True.
I'm sorry?
Not true.
Okay. Count 4 alleges that you failed to immediately report to the probation officer a change of address and your arrest. Is that true or not true?
Not true.
Count 5 alleges that you failed to provide verification of performing the community service hours as required. Is that true or not true?
True.
Count 6 alleges that you failed to provide verification of participating in the education program for your GED. And is that true or not true?
True.
Count 7 alleges that you failed to provide verification of paying court-ordered child support. Is that true or not true?
Not true.
Count 8 alleges that you're behind in your court-assessed fees as of June 26, 2023, in the amount of $2,361. And is that true or not true?
That's true.
So he was at large since 2023? Is that what this, I would assume from this? since there's,
That's what I would assume, Judge, just from the file stamps and the fact that his last admin was in 23 as well.
so did you just stop going to probation back in 23?
Yes, ma'am.
That's after he got arrested on the new case, apparently. That's what it appears, Judge.
No, that was before I got arrested.
Yeah, the new case is from March of 2024, so you had already stopped going for
Yes,
almost a
ma'am.
year.
Cause she was planning to violate me for
This
any
is-
reason, I don't know why.
It says June 18th or 23, I thought.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. Looking at the wrong thing.
He was supposed to be.
2023, June 18th, yeah. Stopped reporting in April. New offense in June. I don't know if I like it or not. Guess it really doesn't matter a whole lot just because it's gonna, I already gave them the 3 on the other one.
We can rediscuss it, Judge, and raise the time in the court of law.
I'll do it. All right, so I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1, 2. Well, let me go through this first. I have also in this case, on the motion to revoke case, some documents here on the computer that have your signature on them. Did you also go over these with Mr. Parker? And you fully understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, you understand if I follow this agreement that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal.
Yes, ma'am.
State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. All right, I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1, 2, 5, 6, and 8 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 1 year in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certifications in each of these cases that shows these were agreements that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. I've also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgments entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read that written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Parker. All right, you can go back with the bailiff.
When this defendant stepped up in front of the judge, the room shifted. It wasn't anger at first, just disappointment, the kind that sits heavy. The judge looked at him and made it clear. Every chance he had been given was slowly being burned away. She reminded him that probation wasn't a free pass. It was a responsibility, something he had to show up for. But instead of progress, there were missed check-ins, excuses, and a pattern that showed he wasn't taking any part of it seriously. He tried to explain, tried to justify his choices, but the judge had heard it all before. She told him exactly how many people had tried to help him along the way, from officers to counselors to the probation team, and how he kept walking past every opportunity. And the moment she read through his jail incidents, every fight, every warning, every disrespectful outburst, he realized she had already seen the full picture. She wasn't talking to punish him, she was talking to wake him up. Her voice was stern, but not unkind, reminding him that the only person who could change where this road leads is him. Then came the next case, a completely different face, but the same heavy pattern. This defendant walked in shaking his head, frustrated at the correctional officers who kept writing him up, but the judge wasn't buying that every incident was everyone else's fault. She flipped through pages of reports, each one more serious than the last: fighting, disobeying orders, disrespect, threats, behaviors that made it impossible to believe he was ready to handle freedom outside those walls. And when she asked him if he really thought he wasn't on their time while locked up. The silence said everything. He tried to blame the officers, tried to rewrite the story, but as the judge read his own words from the reports, his explanations collapsed. Still, beneath her frustration, there was a warning, a lifeline. She told him that the way he behaved behind bars reflected exactly how he would behave on the outside. And if he couldn't control himself now, she couldn't trust him later, but she didn't shut the door fully. She gave him a chance to adjust, to commit to following rules, to show that he could listen instead of argue. Her message echoed through the room. If he didn't change, prison wouldn't be an outcome. It would be a guarantee. Across both cases, the judge wasn't talking to punish them. She was pushing, challenging, almost pleading for them to realize that these choices weren't just mistakes. They were patterns forming a future that neither of them wanted. It was a courtroom filled with tension, but also with clarity. Choices have consequences. Excuses don't erase actions. And when the judge gives you a final chance, it truly is a final chance. The question both men now face is simple, but life-defining. Will they finally take control, or let their past decisions drag them into a future they can't undo?